I am a failure, and some of you might think, oh, I think this girl's giving the wrong speech, but I want to share with you an experience that played a significant role in who I am as a person today. So many of you may know me as the drama queen with an annoying ability to weave musical theatre into everything that she does, or the Benazir who confidently speaks her mind, or the Benazir who loves talking just a little bit too much. But the Benazir that most of you don't know is the shy girl who would do absolutely anything to stay out of the spotlight, who would rather stick her head in the sand than deal with any sort of confrontation, who wished every single day that the ground would just swallow her, who would definitely not be making this speech for everyone to see, and who wouldn't dare share her weaknesses for fear of appearing vulnerable and being seen as weak or a failure. So let's rewind about 6 years to an experience that I was sure would define me for the rest of my life. A scared, timid girl who was pushed a little out of her comfort zone. And by a little I mean a lot. 2 words that either got you really excited or nervous or just came with a feeling of indifference. Drama, I stayed with. How my shy and timid self got talked into this is still a mystery, but what came next had the potential to completely destroy what little self-confidence I had. I'd had my first panic attack. On a stage, in front of what felt like my biggest critics. Not only was I being vulnerable, but I had failed at something before I had even started. And ever since then, I've seen myself as a failure. And I still do. But I'm a failure who perseveres. Because the following year, I was back in that same spot, on the same stage, excelling at something I never even thought myself capable of, because I decided that I was not going to let it end that way. In the same year, I encountered one of the biggest failures my teenage self could handle. I was given some advice that naturally flew over my head at the time, but that has stayed with me throughout all these years. I was walking, my head down, and past a stranger, a woman I had briefly met minutes before, and she said to me, "Keep your head up." 4 words that changed the way I looked at my life and myself, and most importantly, failure. Now, one could say I've come full circle, but someone very special to me who has been by my side throughout this whole journey said that I reached 180 degrees and I sprinted in the other direction, which is something that I would love to encourage in Aristia. To sprint in the other direction, to surpass expectations, to reach goals that you never even thought were possible. Now, if you were to ask me what I bring to the table as a leader in Aristia, I'd say failure, because as much as it hurts and is sometimes definitely not pretty, it will always bring a lesson, definitely strength, and most importantly, deciding as a leader that this is not where it's going to end. Because as leaders and as members of Aristia, we all have so much to offer. I mean, I went from being timid and so full of doubt in myself to confident in who I am today. Because I am a failure, but instead of letting it hold me back, I'm failing forward.